Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
One of the things that I've been working on with some others
Still up for debate whether that worked on The Sopranos. Clearly didn't work here. President Biden cut off mid-sentence after he goes off script during a wildfire briefing.
So this begs the question, who is making the call to mute the commander-in-chief? Let's ask Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, he said that he was going to take a question from a reporter, and then you saw the feed faded to black. What's your reaction?
My reaction is I can't believe, Todd, it's 14 years since that Sopranos ending. We're getting old. Yeah, 2007. The members only guy did it, by the way. But we'll talk about that at another time. Hey, look, what happened there yesterday is just so emblematic of what we see in this administration. We saw Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State. He's in Washington, D.C., and he's taking questions during that hearing yesterday from other lawmakers who are also in Washington, D.C. He couldn't just go there directly. So I find that interesting, the whole virtual thing. But look, if this was a one-off with the president, it would be a nothing to see here situation because technical problems do happen. But now this has happened at least 3 times now in the last couple of months. Last month, Biden's audio abruptly goes out right before he's supposed to answer a question on the disastrous military withdrawal in Afghanistan. A few months ago, his feed went out just as he said he was happy to take questions during a virtual event. And again, this isn't dial-up internet in the AOL You've Got Mail days. And Carly, that was a thing once. Believe me, you're just
I'm way
born
too
at
young
that time.
for that. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. My
exactly. But the White House feed is robust. Its redundancy is tested regularly. This appears intentional, and it looks weak in the process. And you remember the White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, she told CNN recently that she instructs her boss literally not to take questions. And it's amazing that the guy who received more votes than any candidate in U.S. history, as far as presidential candidates are concerned, is so shielded in these situations. One would think he could make an effective argument on his own behalf, but his handlers don't even believe that. And it's another reason why Mr. Biden is increasingly unpopular. Even a majority of Americans now, CBS poll, believe that Joe Biden is not competent, focused, or effective enough to handle the job, and we're only 8 months in. Wow.
It's so blatant what the White House is doing, yet there's not a lot of media pushback. It's unreal. Meantime, Joe, Facebook reportedly exempting the secret whitelisted elite from its rules and allowing them to post banned content with a special X-check program. I just used a lot of words there that don't make sense to me, so let me explain the Wall Street Journal's quote here. In private, the company has built a system that has exempted high-profile users from some or all of its rules. The documents show X-check has protected public figures whose posts contain harassment or incitement to violence, violations that would typically lead to sanctions for regular users. Joe, why does Facebook seem determined to create this elite versus non-elite discord in our country?
That's who they are, right? And great reporting there by Jeff there at the Wall Street Journal. But you look at some of the quotes in this story. It's amazing. And this, again, these are in actual documents. It's not like a he said, she said sort of situation. Quote, we're not actually doing what we say we do publicly, unquote. Quote, Facebook routinely makes exceptions for powerful actors, unquote. Quote, these people can violate our standards, unquote. Look, obviously it's hypocritical. It's dangerous given the power and ubiquity of Facebook. There's more than 220 million Facebook users in the U.S. alone. 86% of Americans get their news online, many of whom get it through social media like Facebook. Now, here's the bad news, all right? If you're upset about this or angry watching this at home, Facebook is a private company. It could do what it wants. We keep hearing from our leaders in Washington they want to break it up, but it never seems to happen, does it? Because we hear it's hopelessly biased, and yet you see who holds the power and leverage here. Facebook stock, if you look at it from 1 year ago today to today, is up 100 points this year. If the money keeps rolling in, they're not going to change because obviously Washington's not going to do anything about it, right? And so that's where we are. They're a private company. They'll do what they want. They'll get exposed here. They'll hope the news cycle takes the story away, and on we go.
Yeah, and Joe, a Facebook spokesperson responded to this saying that they've been transparent about this cross-check program, and they say that some people were given an extra layer of security for posts because they're sort of important people, like the former President Trump was under this program as well. So they're saying it's not necessarily a two-tiered system, bipartisan, but other people would beg to differ, like you. My friend Joe Concha, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Carly. By the way, that tie that Todd's wearing, he went with peach yesterday. Is that lavender? Can you identify that color?
Lavender. Officially
Lavender?
Yes.
Not magenta?
Well,
Lavender.
Okay, good.
technically,
We're going to do this every
pink.
day.
I would call
Lavender.
I would call it pink with blue spots, which
Lavender.
would make lavender.
We got to
in
go,
essence.
Joe. It's lavender.
He pulled
Okay,
it off.
thanks, Joe.
Bye.